Yo, we back, and Carly is back. Her internet was being weird for a second there. We are ready to continue our session of Death Unto Madness after Alpheus has so wonderfully indicted himself in this entire situation. I'm really excited for that follow-up. But in the meantime, let's pick up with Avra. We touched on Avra a little bit with Alpheus. Let's go ahead and keep following her. Right, so after Alpheus leaves, Celadon is like, all right, I'm going to look into this more and get some colleagues to help. And so he'll probably make a roll there to do that. Like, I think he made an obscure history roll last time, right? Yeah. So let's have him make another roll to try to continue figuring out what's going on here. Let's see what he has at his disposal here. He only has the circles of 2, which is unfortunate. He's going to go ahead and make some link tests to try to get some more dice on this circles roll. So he's going to, real quick, I'm just going to make some rolls for him here. He's going to do... All right, and he's going to spend a fate. No. Okay. No help from Noble Wise, because he needs to get over the ob. And then he'll try an etiquette. Same deal. No. All right. His link tests were completely useless. Oh well. So he's going to make this circles roll. It's probably going to fail. This is going to be fun. So he's trying to find someone with roughly the same life path, I assume. He is... Yeah, someone who's a student, who is also a student with him. So same life path, same station, but he needs someone with a specific disposition or knowledge. So let's do Ob 2, Circles of 2. This is going to be difficult, but we're going to try it. Yeah, and he can, I think he had 3 fate points, so he'll spend his last fate point to try to make that happen. Hey, it succeeded that time. That's good. That would be bad if he had failed this roll. So he finds a friend who can help him with this. I don't know, you tell me, Carly, what avenue do you want to explore this time? He looked up with obscure history stuff. What kind of scholar do you want to find? Like, what skill does this dude have that can help you out? You're muted.
Before I was specifically looking for something like medicinal that could have happened. So probably now she's like, okay, maybe something less physical.
Well, so this is the thing. Technically, you made that roll with obscure history, right? So this could be a person trying to get the same sort of information, but with a different skill. Like, because you haven't exhausted that avenue of opportunity there.
Yeah.
So it might be best to stick with that until you actually get something concrete one way or the other.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, what are you thinking? Is this a person who's, like, legitimately, like, maybe, like, an herbalist or something?
Probably. It's just, oh, why am I forgetting her name?
Zoe?
No.
Oh, your character from
Vivienne.
Vivienne from
it's
Lavender
just
Shadows.
Vivienne.
Yeah. So it's some sort of
Just happens to be deaf.
botanist or something. No, he's not deaf. Okay. Let's see here. I'll give him a roll. We don't need to know this guy's name. He only got a circles of 2 anyway, so he can't really be a recurring character exactly. But we'll go ahead and roll this. And I think the ob is going to be... So your intent here is find out if there is some sort of medicinal thing that could be happening, like an herb or a poison or something that could have affected your father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's going to be an ob 4. Hey, there you go.
Nice.
4 successes. Okay, so I think you find an avenue to approach. And I think this guy is saying... So Celadon gets in contact with this dude, right? And then he brings you to like talk to him once he's like, okay, I think he found something, right? And so you all are talking, and this guy says like, it's really fascinating that you asked me about this question. I had literally just been writing a paper on this to submit to the College of Scholars here in Sinia, and I was writing a treatise on the properties of the black orchid, actually. It's actually rather fascinating. By itself, it's rather benign. There haven't been any particular medicinal properties that come up when you use it. And it makes a good tea, but nothing in particular that any scholar that I know of has been able to discover of specifically medicinal properties one way or the other. But when you apply it under a certain amount of... And let's back away from this. I'm actually not sure exactly myself. Like, I'm thinking black orchid processed in a certain way. What way would that be? Like, what would you have to do to this flower to make it to make something make someone mad?
Put 1,000 souls in it.
Mix it with venom from a particular kind of snake? Question mark.
Or someone's venom sacs.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, my first thought was just like make it into a tea, like, and boiling it would do something.
Well, I mean, that he literally said like you can make it into a tea, but there's no medicinal properties.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think people would be able to. This has to be something that like is obscure enough that people wouldn't just stumble upon it unless they were really trying to make something like this. I am interested in the venom idea. I like the idea of like this poisonous snake that normally it just kills people, right?
Maybe it's the snake that Vernon is.
That's what I was going to say. I think maybe what it is normally that this is just a poison that kills you, right? But what you do is when you mix the black orchid and the venom together, it nullifies the like murdering effects of the poison, but makes it into some sort of maddening elixir, right? So I'm totally down with that as being the thing he comes up with. So basically he says like, I found an old scroll from a Jagati merchant a year or so ago, and I was translating it, and I came across this interesting paragraph about the poison of the particular type of snake Vernon is. And they said that it was kind of obscure, the reference. I didn't quite understand what it meant at first, but I realized that it was talking about mixing the two properties. And when done in a certain way and boiled to a certain temperature, and believe me, I had to do a little bit of trial and error myself to figure out exactly how to make this work. I haven't actually made the thing myself, but lots of textual investigation to figure this out. But I found out that you can make some sort of it's a alchemical property, or this alchemical solution that seems to, and my research pointed more towards the effects in the sense of making someone more aggressive, But when framed in a certain light, when framed in the light of our king, it actually makes makes a lot of sense. To us, it seems like he is losing his mind, but really, what the substance could be doing is heightening his aggressive tendencies to a dangerous level. Your father was already a warlike man, more so than most monarchs most prophet kings of Sinia. But whatever this drug is, enhanced that. There might be something else going on that could explain some of his other erratic behavior, but this seems like a good first step, at least. Caledon nods and looks at you, Avra, and says, that sounds like a promising lead. So what is...
She kind of like absently nods and is just like thinking to herself.
Yeah. And Caledon says, like, so what, is someone poisoning the king? Slipping something into his tea?
Is that a question for Avra?
He's just thinking out loud, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, the guy, I guess the other scholar, he just kind of shrugs and says, quite possibly. And Caledon made the connection with the Black Orchid too, right? Didn't he do that? Or no? What was the thing that made him think about Ophelia?
That was well, because I had just like looked at this like particular story about, you know, a cult in the woods with a random lady, and then I had told him my sister's alive, and then he went back to it and was like, is this her?
I feel like the Black Orchid was the connecting piece, though. Even there.
Oh yeah, I think it was
because the guy barfed out the Black Orchids. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And so he was thinking out loud, and then you nod absently, right? And you're thinking, and you immediately make the connection. But then Caledon makes it like a few seconds later, and he says, "Oh." And he looks back at you. Oh no. This is her, isn't it? And the scholar says, "This is who? Who?" And Caledon says, "Listen, could you give us a moment of privacy? I think there's something we might need to discuss." And the scholar like nods and he says, "Well, don't leave me in the dark. This is interesting." And then he just steps out. And then Caledon looks at you, Avra, and says, "Is your sister poisoning the king?"
I don't know.
Ophelia's like, "I'm not, I swear." So Caledon just like biting his lip, and he's like, "We probably need to do more research. Look into this more, look at all the angles."
Avra just like nods.
Where do you want to go next?
I think she wants to look into like anything they have records on involving black orchids, like in recent history.
Yeah, so you're like, what is this stupid flower? Like, okay. Yes, I mean, the guy, Caledon probably brings the guy back in, is like, all right, we need everything we can possibly find on these black orchids. And more research time. So I'll have Caledon make this roll again, from his point of strength, and I'll have the other guy like add his dice to him. Do you have something that you can add to it?
Probably not.
And this actually would include sifting through a bunch of records, so I think you might be able to help him with Reed.
Okay.
Just helping him parse the information.
Yeah.
All right. So he's doing. Celadon's going to do it from a historical perspective, right? He's going to find anything historical on it, but then the other guy's going to help with his kind of like botany specifics, and you're helping with just the brute force of reading. And it's actually funny, Avra. How are you feeling throughout this whole process? Reading is not a thing you normally do. This would be like the equivalent of someone asking me, "Hey, can you practice for a marathon?" And I'd be like, I hate running. Why would I ever do that?
So this would be like someone asking Mickey to read.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, I feel like it's less like, I mean, there's definitely an aspect of, oh, I don't enjoy reading. But I feel like it's more like, oh, this is a masculine thing. I don't feel feminine doing this.
Right. Yeah.
I feel feminine with a giant bird on my arm, but I don't feel feminine reading.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. All right. History. What is the ob here? I think it's going to be an ob 5. Oh! All right, he got a 6, but I don't think he has any more fate. Oof. Yeah, I think he doesn't come up with anything. I think he's like, this is all useless, just completely useless. Nobody knows anything. It's just a flower. And then he looks at the scholar that he's been talking to, and he's like, "You said this originally came from a Jagati scroll?" And the guy nods, and he says, "Yeah, I bought it off of a merchant. Some shaman, I think, had, out in the plains, made a notation or two. It was basically an herbalist. It was half spiritual, half medicinal. I had to filter through a whole bunch of spiritual mumbo jumbo to even get the coherent bits out. But yeah, it's Jagati." And Celadon seems to think about that for a moment. And question, Zoe wasn't your nursemaid, was she, Avra?
No. I don't know.
I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, Maria, but... Because you grew up around the same time, roughly.
Yeah. Does she still work for our family in some respect?
Yeah, I mean, she's basically as far as I remember, she's like still like a gardener in the palace.
Right.
Yeah, she's the royal gardener.
I'd imagine so.
Well, actually, here, wait, I can take a look at her life paths here. How long is gardener life path? Gardener's 10 years, so how old are you, Ophelia?
I want to say like 28, but I can't remember for sure.
It should have been listed on your sheet here. I'm not finding it either.
26 and 28.
And then how old are you, Avra?
I don't know.
I feel like it got rid of the age listing, even though I put it on there.
Oh, yeah,
And then
because
when they
there's a
updated
spot for it, but mine's empty.
Yeah, that's weird. You're older than 20, though, right?
Yeah.
So she stopped being a governess 20 years ago. So both of you probably had her as a governess for some length of time, but probably only until you were like 6, Ophelia. And she was still a gardener, and so you knew her, right? But like she stopped being your direct governess when you were like, 6 to 8. And for Avra, probably like 3 to 4. So Avra, you probably don't remember her as like a governess. If you wanted to, though, you can make a circles roll to have remembered her, because she is Jagati. Right? And so that might be a memory that triggers for you, because she was around and Ophelia knew her. So if you wanted to make a circles roll to have remembered her, you can make that.
Sure. It's worth a shot.
Okay, let me look at circles then. What is your exact intent? Just to remember her?
Yeah.
Or to remember her, and this role is going to determine that she does indeed have information that could help you about this. Like, for sure.
So that would be a harder roll, right?
It would, yeah. That's going to be the difference between an Ob 4 and an Ob 5. What do you have for circles? Oh, you only have a 2.
Yeah.
Both of these people can help you, technically. Keladon and this unnamed scholar.
I'd probably just want to remember her, and that she is that certain ethnicity.
Okay. Okay, so Ob 4, and then you can get 2 helping dice. Yeah.
What's the Ob again? 4?
4, yeah. You got a 6. You can spend 1 or 2 fate if you would like to. You have 2, actually.
I'll spend 1.
Got it. Yeah, so go ahead and click on that little fate button and do 1 and 1.
Everything is not what I remember it. There it is.
I know, yeah. Good luck, Avra. Nope.
Dang it.
Luck is not on your side. So, you can mark a difficult circles test, but and normally I could be like, you do remember her, but she hates your guts. I think in this case you just don't think of her.
Yeah.
Right. She exists in the setting. You can find her technically, but not today. You don't remember that she's Jagati or that you had any connection to her. So Keladon's probably just like, well, I don't know anyone who's Jagati, so I'm not sure where to go from here. Specifically, someone who would know anything about botany or even any of the spiritual stuff. We just have, I mean, there's some slaves, of course. There's always Jagati slaves around, but yeah, he looks back at you for kind of like confirmation as to where to go next. He's like, well, I can just further look into the Jagati thing if you want me to, Avra. I can't guarantee something will come up.
Please do.
All right. I guess we'll leave it there for now. And then he goes off to, and basically this, because you failed the circles roll, he's gonna ask around and not come up with anything really.
Right. It's the etiquette of the thing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you know what we should do then? We should pick up with Cyrillus and Ophelia. We should find out what happens when Cyrillus goes back to join the demon cult.
Fun.
So, Ophelia, you bring him to the camp, yeah?
Yes. Oh, yeah, because we left off with me, like, bringing him into my house.
You didn't. I don't think you brought him into the house, but you brought him into the camp, and he was... Oh, no, we just talked about that off screen. I don't think it ever actually happened on screen. We knew that you were bringing him there.
Okay.
Immediately, I'm curious about like how you introduce him to everything. Like, are you going to immediately be like send him on some sort of like you got to find a demon now thing, or like are you just going to be like, ha, join my cult, you have no choice. Like I'm going to send you on this thing, or are you going to introduce him to the other acolytes? Like, what's your plan exactly?
Wasn't I gonna try to sober him up a little bit?
We talked about that off screen. I'm just curious how you would like bring this up to him or even begin the process of, because he doesn't know anything that's going on, right? You just randomly bring him to this place.
Okay.
So you could certainly trick him into doing some sort of process. I guess my main question is, are you going to tell him anything about the cult he has stumbled upon? Or are you going to try to just kind of weasel him into it sneakily?
Well, I have a couple ideas because I don't know, because I'm not exactly sure how this character's going to react. And I'm not sure about the properties of the Black Orchid tea anymore. Because a cool idea, and I'm not sure if this would work, but a cool idea would be to try to, because I think the way I'm going to get to him is via drink. And I think it would be really interesting if I could be like, hey, I have like the best drink ever, and it's going to like change your world, but you have to get all the other gross human drink out of your body. So you have to sober up for like 3 days. Then we're going to have some Black Orchid tea, and you're going to know what's up. And then, like, if it has some kind of druggy qualities to it, and then like something demony happens, that maybe. I'm not sure if that would work. So I don't know if I have like special control over what happens with the Black Orchid tea, because the scholar said it's just kind of normal.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you were in a room with that guy, you'd be like, no, what are you talking about? But you would understand the spiritual aspect of it, right? You would be like, that Jagati scholar knew what they were talking about. Like, it isn't just a medicinal thing. You have to be in the right spiritual mindset to truly accept the Black Orchid.
Yeah. And so, like, a little snapshot image came into my head, and I'm not sure if this will even work, but of him, like, sitting in a chair, and he, like, just, like, downs, like, a ton of the tea, and it's, like, too much.
It's like a detox sort of a thing, but, like, yeah.
And I don't have time to say, like, whoa, slow down, because you're only supposed to have a little bit, and he just, like, just goes down on it. And then he, like, has this whole, like, spiritual thing, and he's like, oh, okay. And he actually, like, I sort of want him to be in the know and be kind of on my side with the thing, because I have my little baby acolytes, but I kind of want him to be, like,
a little bit more of an equal with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it just really depends on the way you try to bring him into that world, right? Like, how do you phrase any of this to him, begin him on that journey?
I think I act like a normal human being as much as I can on the way there, and I just kind of talk about what he likes, which immediately goes into a conversation about alcohol. And then I'm like, hey, like, I have this sweet drink that is literally going to, like, change your world. And he's like, ooh, this sounds good.
You literally, okay, so basically you start talking about drinks. And this is Ophelia trying to act as normal as possible and literally just be like, hey, I have this drink that you could try. Like, I've made it by myself for a long time. Like, it's really nice. I think you'd enjoy it. Like, you should try some. But it's like, as non-creepily as humanly possible, because that could come off in such a wrong way to be like, yes, I make this special tea in the woods by myself and you should have some.
I'm not going to be like that. Like, I feel like I can, because I still remember being in the royal household.
Yeah.
And apparently I still have that kind of air a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have the mark of privilege trait still, so you still act like a noble woman unconsciously.
Yeah, so I feel like I can just pull that card and act sort of queenish and be like, dude, like, I have this sweet drink, instead of being like, I have this cool drink,
right?
You know? Because I honestly think that's the only way I'm going to get to him, because he doesn't refuse a drink. And if I try to go the route of like, oh, you just walked into a cult, he's going to be like, frick no, bye.
Exactly, yeah.
So, only ways for him to, like, I had to finagle myself into that whole drink world, and then for something crazy to happen there that he literally cannot deny it, like a straight up demon being like, hi, we're here. I think that's the only way that Cyrillus is actually going to be in on it.
Yeah, okay, let's take this step by step. The first question I have for Ophelia and Cyrillus really is, like, how does that conversation actually start? Like, Ophelia doesn't have supernatural knowledge of Cyrillus, so like she wouldn't know to bring up. But like I assume, I mean, from what you were sounding, you're at the very least have the knowledge of like I want to act normal around this guy. I want to get him into this cult by not creeping him out in any way, shape, or form, acting as normal as possible.
And not acting as dominant, because I'm very dominant with the other two. So I think I literally just like ask him. Well, maybe I could segue it, because maybe I feel weird about asking him about his whole like situation, because that's gonna bring back the whole creepy thing that happened.
Right.
So I think maybe I'm like, hey, so you were in a bar, like, tell me about it. Like that. Not obviously like that, because Ophelia would never.
Yeah.
But because like that's where I met him, so I could just be like, hey, do you go to that? You come here often. Because I think that'll help him like ease up a little bit if we're talking about alcohol. He's in his world that he knows. So maybe I'm just like, hey, a bar, cool.
Yeah, I mean, how would Cyrillus respond to that in the immediate? Like, she just brings in, you go to the Lonely Cliff very often? I'd
be like, all the time.
What's your favorite drink? Come up with some. Doesn't matter.
Beer.
Just like, I don't know, just straight beer? It doesn't really matter.
Maybe because I want to know if he's like an alcoholic, right?
I mean,
I feel like him saying his favorite drink is just beer is pretty telling that he's an alcoholic.
I think Cyrillus is kind of an alcoholic.
He's for sure an alcoholic, but I'm not sure if Ophelia like blatantly knows that.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe she.
Gotcha.
Maybe she's just like. I feel like asking how much do you usually drink is probably too forward.
But you're like,
you could ask how many drinks he could put down in one sitting.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I have to be
Make it be like a sporty kind of thing.
That's the way to get to Cyrillus, is be a bro with him.
Yes, I'm gonna be a bro with him. This is so cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm like, how many can you put down? Like, how many pints or whatever the measurement is in this world?
I think my answer would be more than anyone else.
Right.
How do I segue into this?
I mean, you could literally be like, you probably couldn't take much of my special drink, though.
Oh, yes. You're gonna die. Oh, no. Like, yeah. So I just kind of, because now I know what I'm doing. So now Ophelia's like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. So she's like, okay, like, I bet you couldn't handle what I have at home.
You don't know me very well. I bet I've already had it.
Like, all right, well, we're almost to my house, so why don't we sit down, forget about the day, and
you want to just challenge him to a drinking contest? Is that what you're doing?
Maybe, yeah. I think I do. I think I'm like, let's just straight up have a banger. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
The joy.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is wonderful. It makes so much sense.
I have an immunity to it. I drink that tea like constantly.
Yeah.
But in small amounts, so I don't get completely hammered or drugged out or whatever it does.
Exactly, yeah. So this is my question. I feel like you should make a falsehood roll
Yeah.
to just kind of the general like deception of getting him into this situation, right? Okay. And that he'll fall for the contest you're putting before him. Okay. It's gonna be a falsehood. What's your will, Cyrillus? Isn't it like 3?
Perfect.
Let's see. My will. Where is she?
It should be at the top of stats and skills. 4, okay. Let's see here. So from the way you described all of that, I feel like honestly, there's like no forks.
Yeah. Okay.
You could always add astrology, but yeah, I think it's just a straight falsehood.
Okay. Falsehood. I'm pretty strong in falsehood, right?
You have a 5. It's going to be kind of tight, but you probably could pull it off with the astrology. The other thing I think I will say, and if you're fine with this, Seth, I feel the situation is pretty advantageous for Ophelia. I feel like this would be an easy thing to convince Cyrillus to do. Like, you're already kind of more predisposed to this situation, so you can get just an advantage die.
Okay. Yeah. I honestly feel like it'd be hard for me because he's had such a rough time and I'm offering him to get hammered. So.
Right. Another thing you can do also, Ophelia, if you want to heighten your chances of this, you could do a faith roll beforehand. You could send up a quick prayer to the dead gods to help you out.
That didn't go so hot last time.
It didn't. But you could just do the easiest thing, which is a boon, and it's basically all the 6s you get automatically reroll without you having to spend a fate point. So that's something you can do. That's an up 2 faith test.
Okay, I might as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot how to do this.
It's in attributes, faith in dead gods.
Oh gosh, this is different. I'm scared.
Yeah, I know. It looks very different.
Oh, this was right. Okay, this just looks funky. Faith.
Funky. And faith in dead gods automatically reroll 6s with that stat, so it should be easier, even more so than just having a 4.
I think I'm somewhere very wrong.
You in stats and skills.
Oh, okay, no.
And then attributes from there.
Oh my gosh, I was somewhere way wrong. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird tabs now.
Yeah, so faith in dead gods.
Yep.
Little die, help and advantages.
Nothing there. It would just be an op 2, yeah. There you go.
Yay.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and do this then. I'm just gonna check your little open-ended thing on falsehood. So when you click it now, it should automatically reroll the 6s. Yeah, go ahead and click on falsehood, and then are you gonna use your astrology?
Sure.
Cool. Then you can add another dice after the fact, but then you get the advantage die from the situation as well. So you can put in 1 modifier on falsehood when you click it.
Oh, it came with a new thing. It said help, forks, and advantages.
Yeah, it's changing that instead of modifiers, because those are the things that you would get for modifiers. So just telling you explicitly what they are. Yeah, 1 modifier. Yeah, one of those.
Okay, I'm not going to do Arthur. And then the ob is 4, right?
Ob is 4, yep. Oh my gosh, you got 0 successes. Whoa. Well, roll your astrology die. We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Just go ahead and go to the fate thing at the top again and just put in, I guess put in 4 for the remaining ob and 1 die. Gosh dang. Wow, that was so bad.
Why did that happen?
I have no clue.
Well,
so Cyrillus, you can tell Ophelia is being so fake. Everything about what she's doing right now, she is playing you, and it's clear as day.
Aw. Dang it.
How would you feel about that? What would you do? You can tell she's trying to lure you into a drinking contest for nefarious purposes.
I think I'd be overly confident in my ability.
You'd just be like, wait a second. Okay, you're trying to drug me. I can sense this, but I can take it. So Cyrillus would be like, I know this is nefarious. I'm going to do it anyway.
It's like, she don't know me. I'm built different.
Right,
you are getting so many fate points this time, Cyrillus. Wow. That's awesome. Cool. So you probably just play along with it. Ophelia, you probably don't even notice that you failed because he's just like, no.
I haven't been around people for a while, so.
That's so funny. Cyrillus is like, all right, this creepy witch is definitely trying to get me to drink drugs tea. I can handle it, though.
Oh. So he's going to do it anyway, even though I failed all of that?
Sounds like it.
Sweet.
I love the way that's framed, though. Like, it makes so much sense.
That's hysterical.
So, Cyrillus, I think you're going to... So, wait, okay, so Ophelia, what you want to happen, right, is that this... You're having him drink so much of the tea that it's going to basically detox him of all alcohol in his system and open up his spirit to, like, the void of the demons, like...
Yeah, and I feel like one of them's, like, I don't know exactly how I wanted that to go, but...
Because I know specifically you definitely want him to be sober by the end of this thing.
Yeah, and I feel like I want him to be in on, like, all the big stuff that I haven't told.
So basically what you want to do...
I want, like, my dead god to be like, yo, Cyrillus, this is the deal.
Oh, okay, so you literally want him to drink so much of this tea that his spirit is open to the dead gods and he's, like, sees a vision of the spiritual sort of a thing?
Yeah, and it's going to be the situation where Cyrillus has to be okay with it and be not a co-leader, but, like, a right-hand man of mine. Or he's probably going to, like, flip out.
Cyrillus is your sword, right?
Yeah.
Or your spear, as the case may be.
I want him to be my boy. And then, I just want, maybe not, like, whatever her name is, the actual dead god, because I feel like that might kill him.
Well, there are multiple dead gods, so.
Yeah. So maybe, like, a demon comes and, like, hangs out for a bit.
Yeah.
And that's the demon that turns into his, like, animal buddy later.
Yeah.
If he accepts everything anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think just watching Seth silently scream. So Cyrillus, I mean, I think what's happening, right? You're gonna make a drinking roll. You're gonna make a drinking test.
Yeah.
I assume your intent, if you succeed in the drinking test, is like you can handle it, and the weird stuff doesn't happen to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what you want to happen. Cyrillus doesn't want to go into this weird spirit trip. You want to just handle your liquor.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to beat her.
Okay, cool. So Ophelia, you're also drinking, right? Because that's what you promised him. So, but you're used to weird vision quests, so it's like whatever. Okay, cool. So, normally drinking is a versus test, right? But it doesn't matter if Ophelia wins. Right. So Cyrillus, what is the ob of this? I feel like it's going to be pretty difficult.
Yes, please make it hard. I want to win so bad. This will be so good.
But I mean, I feel like, you're trying to, because the cards are stacked against you in this situation because she doesn't care if she gets wasted, right? This isn't actually a contest to see who can take their liquor the most. She just wants to lure you. Oh, you know what it is? It's going to be a versus test between your drinking and her falsehood, right?
Okay.
She's trying to lure you into drinking too much, and you're trying to keep it down. So that's what it's going to be. So,
and little does Cyrillus know, it's not even alcohol. This is just straight up like drugs.
Yes.
Do I realize it's not when I drink it?
Not immediately, at the very least. If you succeed, you definitely will realize what it is. But yeah, it's a versus here. So just both of you set your ob as 1 and just roll it.
Oh, on my falsehood.
Yeah, and whoever gets higher.
And mine drinking.
Yeah.
Ob 1.
Okay. Forks, none.
Oh no! Ophelia only got a 1.
Why?
Your ob is a 1, Cyrillus.
My helps, forks, and advantages, none.
None, yeah.
Okay.
Dang it! Why is today bad?
1. Oh, that's a 0. Don't do that. Hello? There it goes. Where is it? Ah! My wound!
So you only got a 1. So who's the defender in this case?
That's a good question.
I don't even know.
They're both willingly going into this.
Right, I know. Let's do this. I think both of you should spend a fate point on this. Right?
Okay.
And so you could, because I think it's going to be a true tie. And then, yeah, you guys, because you guys have fate. I feel like it makes sense to spend fate on this to see who gets.
Okay. Is it just ob 1 again?
Yeah, it's just literally you're rolling a d6. That's all it is. Yeah.
Oh, do I just click the die of fate?
You can just click. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So you got a 0. So if Cyrillus also gets a no successes, then
I click the die of fate button.
you can. Yeah, that works. That just rolls a d6, so that works. So no successes for you either.
Wait, I got a 3. I'm confused. How does
So
that
that's basic. Remember, it's a d6. So a 1, 2, and 3 is a failure. 4, 5, and 6 is a success.
Gotcha.
Die of Fate is normally used to just when we don't know a result of something random in the universe, we can just roll it to see, and I'll be like, on a 1, this happens, and you roll it.
Gotcha.
Maybe it does. But it was perfectly fine for what we needed. So neither of you succeed. I don't know. Let's find a compromise, right? What's a compromise between these two outcomes, right? Between the two intents? Because Ophelia's intent was to get you into this spirit vision. Cyrillus's intent was to handle his liquor.
I guess
Is it like
he gets into this?
work?
Maybe he gets into the vision quest, but he has complete control of his faculties.
Oh.
Like he enters it from a place of power.
I guess.
So normally when people do this,
like the only thing I think of is it like half works.
right? I mean, I think it makes sense to be like, normally people who do this weird spiritual detox are like out of their minds, drugged, and they're just like, oh, and then demons are open, like you open yourself to demons and it's the whole thing. But Cyrillus is like, no, I can handle this drug so well that even though the weird spiritual thing happens to me, I am in complete control of my whole body.
Maybe instead of it being like this weird ethereal, like freaky situation, like in his head, he's just like sitting at a table with just a demon, and it's like a super
I'm
chill.
hallucinating. But I'm not hallucinating, but I am.
But it doesn't
Spirit
feel like a
vision.
hallucination, right? It's just there.
Uh-huh.
So just something less freaky than I wanted it to be. So
My
yeah,
third eye has opened.
you can
Yeah.
blink.
Yeah, but you can't blink for a little while. So, yeah, I like that. I like the idea of like,
Okay.
I think it's less a table. No, you know what? It probably is. You're probably back in the Lonely Cliff, right? You're sitting at a table. Okay, this is what it is. You're suddenly sitting at the bar, right? You're sitting at the bar in the Lonely Cliff, and you were putting this down like no one's business. You can feel it affecting you slightly, but you're like, nope, I can handle myself. And then suddenly you look at Ophelia, and then you feel something, and then you blink, and then you're just in the Lonely Cliff. And Ophelia has been like, you see basically the back of AT, right? Like the barmaid you're used to. You recognize the back of her, but you're like, wait, what? And you know everything that happened. It's not like you're suddenly disoriented and you're like,
Right.
am I actually here the whole time? You know that there's something weird happening and you're not actually here. But then AT turns around and it's the face of, I don't know, what would Cyrillus' spirit animal be?
What's a drunk looking animal? Like a drunk acting
A
animal.
goat.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
it's going to be a goat. It's absolutely going to be a goat. So a goat
First thing I
person,
thought of.
a goat person turns around, right?
Oh my god.
It looked like AT from behind, and then they turn, and it's just a person. It's a humanoid goat, and just go,
It's the goat man.
That's terrifying.
hello, Cyrillus. He's washing out a glass.
Hi.
Ophelia didn't do her job quite right. You're still completely in control of everything, aren't you?
Okay, I guess. What was her job?
To introduce you to me.
And who are you?
Good question. Demon name generator. He says, my name is Galgalus.
Gosh.
And Who are you? What are you?
You could say that I am a prophet, a priest. You might even say I am a guru, a vision quester. Half a dozen other names could be used for me. Cultures have called me all sorts of things over the years. I like to refer to myself as a guide. I'm here to guide you, Cyrillus, into something quite wonderful. Quite beneficial to you, really.
Well, I haven't had a lot of luck with priests recently, so I'm not entirely sure.
Or just don't use that name, then. I can be whatever you will need me to be, Cyrillus.
You said it, not me.
I'm your guide. You are a religious man, are you not?
Correct.
And I think he nods and he says, have you heard of the goddess Nikaya? Or Nikea?
I have not.
Rather obscure god. She's been dead for some years now. I am, well, helping her out. And she's helping me out. We have a symbiotic relationship right now.
How are you helping her if she's dead?
Gods can't truly die. Didn't you know that?
But you said she was dead.
She's dead. She's in a state of death. But death.
What does that even mean?
Death is something very different from what you've been led to believe, Cyrillus.
How do you know?
Well, because
are you dead?
He says, well, because
Have you been dead?
Yeah, he's like, well, because I've died myself several times.
Then how are you talking to me?
I came back, Cyrillus.
People don't come back from the dead.
Oh, yes, people don't.
Goats don't come back from the dead.
He says, avatars of power always seek a vessel.
I don't know what that means.
You will, Cyrillus. You will. I'm here to offer you. I'm here to offer you a bargain. I can give you power, and all I need is a link to this world, to your world.
I don't know.
What do you want, Cyrillus? What do you want, Cyrillus? What do you want most in life? Yeah, what do you want most in life?
Say it again. I don't really know anymore. Right now I'm just trying to survive.
I can give you survival, Cyrillus. And I can give you purpose. Two things that you seem to need right now.
Can a goat give me purpose?
I'm not.
I don't know about that one.
You may be seeing me as a goat, and I may manifest on the other side as a goat, but I am not a goat. Nikaya is.
So if you manifest as a goat, does that make you a goat?
I don't know. If you manifest as a drunk, does that make you a drunk? Or does that make you a person?
You're a goat, so I don't.
Or does it make you a person who sometimes gets drunk? Identity is a more firm thing than that.
Okay.
The forms we take are merely tools. Clothes that we can take on and take off again. Nikaya is my link to this realm currently, and she is the goddess of mischief and animals. So, what do I appear as? Well, an animal, of course. But I'm more than that. People have called me all sorts of things. You might be familiar with the term djinn.
Would I be?
I mean, yeah, you've heard the word. It's like those, it's like I don't know, think genie.
I know what a djinn is, but I didn't know if Cyrillus would.
I think for Cyrillus, you would think like genie mixed with trickster god.
Okay.
My first thought was Cyrillus would be like the alcohol. Yeah, I know that.
Gin, right?
So, no, what? No, you're not a liquid.
Yeah, and then he explains, yeah. But then he says, listen, Cyrillus, if what you want is survival and purpose, I can give that to you. All you have to give me is a way home.
I don't know about this.
And so we can
I don't know.
And so we can take a step back as players here. Seth, right? Like, what do you want from Cyrillus with this? Like, do you want to make him into some cool demon-powered spearman guy? Like,
join me.
Do you want magic powers?
Feel like, given his, even though like everything else fell apart, I don't think he would be that quick to
sell his soul to a demon.
Yes. Like, he's stupid, but I don't think he's that stupid.
Yeah. So I mean, what would your answer be? Like, well, I guess, again, as player Seth, are you okay if we found a good in-character reason for Cyrillus to go along with this as a direction for Cyrillus? Or do you want Cyrillus to, like, resist against this and not join the demon cult? What are you most interested in as a player?
That's a good question.
Because I'm just not sure where Cyrillus goes from here if he doesn't join the demon cult, right?
Right.
I think he'd be really cool as Ophelia's, like, sword arm in this whole situation. That would be kind of fun.
So good.
Right? She's the manipulation and you're the aggression, right? You're the soldier.
Maybe he thinks that he can, like, kind of like the demon's trying to take, like, he was very confident in the drinking thing. Maybe somehow he thinks he can like the demon, like, control the demon, like, not have the demon really control him. But like,
and honestly, given what your drinking role did, I think at the very least at the beginning of this relationship, you can. Right? Like, I think Cyrillus can enter this bargain from a place of power. And that's why you're going to be different from Althea or Perrin, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is probably why I don't make you, dead.
So what would the demon have to say to, like, convince you to do this then? Or would Cyrillus just be able to kind of convince himself in his own mind, like, well, okay, I think I can handle this? Like, what else would Cyrillus want that he's not, like, saying or doesn't maybe understand himself, right? He wants to survive, and the demon can give you that. He wants something. He wants to know what he needs to do or what he wants to do. The demon can give you that. But if you want something else besides that, more subconscious, we can talk about that too.
Good questions.
One random thought I just had. I'm really interested in why Ophelia has two demons. Like, there's obviously something there.
That's exactly why, actually.
Awesome. Perfect.
Should I text?
Yeah, you should message me that sometime. Yeah. It doesn't have to be right now, but yeah.
I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, what do you think, Seth?
Maybe I don't know, maybe he just thinks that, like, he is like there's nothing else he can do, and he's confident in himself.
You realize that you're at the end of your rope. You really don't have anywhere else to turn, and you know what? I can handle this. Okay. So let's talk about this then. What do you want to get from it mechanically? Do you want faith in dead gods? Do you want some other power?
I don't. Would there? I mean, so he can get a power. So he can get a power other than faith in dead gods from this.
I think so. Yeah, I think if you're not as
I don't think he really cares about the dead gods.
Exactly. I feel like he wants, like, raw power, right? If anything. Just the ability to do the things he needs to do. So the other things that we talked about being possibilities in this setting were necromancy and enchanting.
Okay.
Right? So those are on the table, powered by this demon stuff. We could also just give you, like, I could get Cyrillus.
I'm stressed.
An idea, maybe that, no, I don't think that makes sense. Okay, never mind. Okay, tell me what kind of thing Cyrillus wants. Does he just want to be better at fighting? Does he want like a legit magic power?
I think like he knows he's talking to something otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
Could there be like, yeah, let's give him some magic.
Some magic?
Some kind.
I
don't think necromancy.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure enchanting would make sense.
Yeah, but I'm not sure enchanting makes as much sense because enchanting is, well, yeah, enchanting can make sense because you don't have to make the stuff, right? You just have to have the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So someone like Alpheus, right, who has a weaponsmith, for example, could both craft a weapon himself and then enchant it. But technically, you could just have enchanting and you don't need to be able to actually make the stuff yourself. You can just have someone else make it for you. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Were those the only two things?
Well, those are the two things we talked about at the beginning of the game, like what magic we want to kind of be available in the setting.
Gotcha.
And I think we shied away from like legit like shooting fire from your hands and stuff, or like the kind of spiritual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm down with enchanting as being the power that you get from this. That's kind of a fun like sub thing for Ophelia, because this is the thing. If you just got faith in dead gods, it would be like, okay, I guess you can help Ophelia on her roles, but this way you can do something that Ophelia can't do, and that does indeed give you an equality with her that the other two don't have, right?
Oh, okay.
So let's look at enchanting, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
You will also start on the corruption path.
Oh God.
Because you just made a deal with a demon.
Here we go.
Both of them are just going to turn into horrible mutant creatures.
I know, it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so enchanting is a bit of a thing. I'm going to send you the PDF for this, Seth, so you can look over this section. I'll give you page numbers.
Okay.
Don't feel like you have to like truly like get all the rules involved here, but probably a quick scan over at some point would be helpful to you.
Mm-hmm.
The idea, right, is I'll just read a little bit of it. Enchanting is the art of imparting an otherwise mundane object with magical properties. The skill can be used in one of two ways: to temporarily and quickly imbue an extant item with power, or to create and enchant a new item. So those are both valid options for you. You could literally just be like, I want to make my spear magical for a second so I can stab this guy. That's totally cool. Imbuing requires the enchanting skill, an enchanting toolkit, and another complementary skill. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Maybe you do need... let's see.
Toolkit.
You need a complementary knowledge. Okay. When imbuing an item with power, the enchanter must use a complementary store of knowledge or power in order to guide his will. The complementary skill provides the spark of magic that the enchanter then blows on like an ember so it blossoms into fire. Complementary skills must be one of the following: doctrine, sing, or any other art, folklore, ancient history, obscure history, ancient languages, astrology, demonology, symbology, or emperelia, which is the study of angels. One or more of these skills must be forked into the enchanting roll. The item being enhanced or the power being bestowed must relate to or draw from the complementary skill. Enchanting isn't enough. There must be art and knowledge as well. Now, this is the thing. You're making a deal with a demon, so the demon can grant you a skill if we can come up with a good reason why. Which of those skills interests you as a possible option for Cyrillus?
What were they again?
Doctrine, sing, or any other art, folklore, ancient history, obscure history, ancient languages, astrology, demonology, symbology, or emperelia, which is the study of angels.
Could he, because he wants to like be in charge of the demon, could he like have the demon give him a knowledge of demonology so that he knows like what he's...
Right, so basically you want to use your innate connection to the demon basically as the power for this. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the more you learn about demons, the more power you'll have over the demon. Right? That's kind of the idea. Yeah, I'm down with that. So I think what we're going to do here is you've made this magical deal. You're going to open demonology at, well, it's going to open at a 1. This is going to be tough for you.
Okay.
But it's going to open at what it would normally open at if you were learning the skill for the first time, right? Which is half of your perception rounded down.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so demonology at a 1. So you don't know a whole lot about demons. You maybe think you have power over this demon, but it knows more than you do. So you're going to have to learn quickly to actually get some power over him, right? But you get the skill. You get the skill demonology. And that's what you use to do enchanting. You also get the enchanting skill. I'm down with that.
Okay.
Which means I believe that's also perception based. Yeah. Well, I need to double check and make sure. Traits, skills. Where did they list these? Here we go. Oh, it's perception / agility. So for you have an agility of 4 and a perception of 3, so it's still a 1. Still open as a 1.
Okay.
So you're going to be bad at these starting off.
Great.
But you learn fast then, right? That's the idea. Because you don't have that many tests to do before you advance it. So I think I'm going to have to you're going to have to find or build an enchanting toolkit, right? So that'll be your probably first step to gaining this, like, control over this power, is you'll have to find the tools to do it some way. I mean, I'm sure Ophelia can help you with that. But you'll have to find tools to make this work. But imbuing an item requires hours equal to the obstacle, right? So this is a long-term thing. This isn't you just touch an object and suddenly it's magical. This is like a process that you work through. And there's all sorts of fun things that you can do with this. I can't wait until you fail a bunch of enchanting rolls and create horrible cursed items. That'll be amazing. Let's see. And then yeah, there's all sorts of other things that we can talk about later, and I'll send you this chapter. But the basic enchantment effects that you can do, you can make something magic. Basically it casts no light and has no mechanical advantage, but it's like a kind of weird glow about it that's like unique to you. That's like the one thing you can do. You can just be like, this is now magical, and it has my effect, my like unique fingerprint on it. Other stuff you can do is like give someone, whoever has the item, advantage dice on stat, skill, health, steals, circles, or resources, one of those things. You can make the device impose an obstacle penalty upon its target, grant a skill, grant a stat, transfer a trait. You can imbue the item with a bit of fighting spirit stolen from the source creature that you use to power it. Thus, you can create doors that resist being opened, pictures that seduce onlookers, or gloves that grab things they shouldn't. You can enhance a weapon, right? You can make your spear magical. You can make a magic armor. You can make a useful magical device, such as a tool for a specific skill. And there's all sorts of like fun, like target, duration, trigger that will either give you bonus dice to the test or obstacle penalties. So that'll be fun to look through. But yeah, I think that's the general idea. There's all sorts of fun things you can do that like come when you fail in enchanting, such as the item requires a sacrifice in order to be used. The item is cursed. So on and so forth. Cool. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, Cyrillus has enchanting now. He's going to be horrible at it at first, but I am down with that. Cyrillus has had to struggle and fight for anything so far in this game. So we'll look forward to seeing more of that. And then you get corruption. So let's take a look at that briefly.
So am I going to make a roll on that?
I think you will. Let's look at it first. It depends on what you start with here. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Did your character have the gifted trait?
No.
You currently do not, but do you need the gift? I don't think you need the gifted trait to do enchanting. So yeah, I think you're good. You wouldn't need it anyway. You don't have the faithful trait. You don't have the chosen one trait. You don't have spirit marks. You don't have orders. Have you ever prayed alone at night to remote unholy gods to aid you?
I don't think so.
Have you ever entered into a pact with a demon? Yes, you have. Exactly. So you start out with a corruption of 1.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll a d6 plus 1 for me.
Okay.
Just remember, you get to choose the trait this time.
How do I roll?
Go ahead and just click the die fade again.
Okay. Where is it? There it is.
All right, so a 5. You get to choose between lame and forked tongue.
Forked tongue. Wait,
Awesome.
wait. What's the next one? What's the next 2?
No, those are the 2 you have
I don't
to
have
choose
to
from.
pick
It's lame and forked tongue.
Okay, forked tongue. I'll go with forked tongue.
And so the way this works, there's 2 columns, right? And you're going to choose forked tongue, which is in the alternate column, and that means the next time you roll,
And
you
that's
have
not
to choose
a
one
physical
from the
forked tongue, right?
No.
Unfortunately.
Right. Okay.
It's a good trait for you because it gives you I gotta find this. It's another call-on trait, and it's a call-on for falsehood.
Oh.
So you are better at lying, even though you don't have the skill. So basically what that means is if you fail a falsehood test at any point, you can use the trait to re-roll all of the failed dice in the test and like try again, basically. Cool. Yep. So you're better at lying now because of this pact you've entered into with a demon. So you come out of this weird vision quest thing, and Ophelia, what have you been doing during this time?
How long was it? Was time moving normally in there?
I feel like maybe a half an hour passed.
Half an hour? I don't know. I guess I was just kind of like
meditating or whatever.
Take that long. I was just gonna kind of sit there.
Yeah. So you're just like waiting for him when he comes back, just like sitting.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So Cyrillus, you come back to yourself. You blink and you're back in the little hut, right? How do you respond? What do you do?
I think I like stare at her for a second, and I'm like, "What was that?"
I feel like I don't really verbally respond because that's kind of been my MO. I think I kind of go back to normal because I'm like, he knows what's up now. So I think I just kind of like look at him and smirk a little bit, and then I like go over and I like tend to it. Do I have a fire going? Because I feel like I'd be like messing with the fire, and I'm just like, you know, it is what it is.
Non-answer.
So it wasn't even alcohol. It was.
No, it was a drug. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you need to go find your goat friend.
Well, so I think that what happens is, Cyrillus, when you step outside the hut, you just see the goat chewing on the lawn, right? It's literally just like sitting there eating grass. It's like a regular goat looking thing.
Right.
And you can tell, oh, that's Golgulus right there. That's him.
I'll be like,
looks up at
do
you.
you have talking to Ophelia? Do you have a demon animal yourself?
I have a couple.
Oh, you have a couple. Okay.
You'll meet them.
I think I just look at the goat and then just like walk back inside.
Shake your head like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So, I don't know, Alpheus or Avra. What do you, or actually, you know what, Ophelia, you wanted to get in contact with Avra, right?
Yes.
Didn't Avra contact you again?
Yeah, and then now she's being weird and
but you're done with your stuff,
But
so you can like focus on
that. Avra wants to get in contact with you.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the next thing here, right? Is Ophelia tries to get in contact with Avra.
And then also, quick question for you, Caleb.
Yeah.
With Cyrillus, if he's gonna be higher up than the other two, do I tell him the things?
Oh yeah, you can tell him whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. Seth, we need to have a little talk off camera sometime. Don't let me trick you. You should message me sometime on Messenger and with Caleb there too.
Okay.
Some details wrong, and you're gonna be in on some things.
Sounds great.
Okay, with Avra, I don't know. I could have been so helpful to her earlier because I get to call on Zoe whenever I want to.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment there where I was like, oh, I could have been maybe helpful, kind of. So I'm not sure why exactly I would get in touch with her unless I had Skion there when all of that was going down, and so I know that she needs help with the whole botany thing, and I'm like, oh, I'll be helpful. I'll go get Zoe.
Sure. Yeah. You literally have an wait, do you have an instinct or wait?
I get to call her whenever I want to with Zoe.
Well, Zoe, yeah. I'm just trying to remember what you had. Yeah. I believe Ava. Yeah. You've had the Raven watching her, right?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's have the Raven make a roll. I'm gonna make a roll for the Raven here to notice the right thing.
Okay. He didn't do so well last time. He got distracted by something shiny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's enough. That was the alb I set in my head. It wasn't going to be too difficult, but yeah, actually it was going to be exactly too difficult because it's a 2 alb. So Skion does give that back to you, so you can yeah, that's definitely a thing you could do. You could just say, hey Zoe, go talk to Avra about this.
Yeah, so I think I meet with Zoe and I'm just like, hey, I know this is random, but Avra kind of needs some help right now and she doesn't know it, but you should help her out with some botany things.
And what might that be, Ophelia?
I don't remember what happened earlier.
It was like the black orchid mixed with the snake venom makes a madness potion.
Yes, so I should just like.
And it came from a Jagati thing, which she is a Jagati thing.
So here's my question: like, if Ophelia knows that Avra is like looking into black orchids and everything, like, does she know that Avra is probably assuming that she's behind her dad's madness?
So that is something.
Why would you be helping?
Because I love you.
I feel like it's a perfectly irrational but totally Ophelia thing to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I haven't. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but yeah, I think I just throw caution to the wind there, just because I want to. Like, one of my instincts is to help you out, so. Or one of my beliefs, I mean. So maybe I just tell Zoe to, like, I don't even know how I would do that. Just, like, bring a black orchid to you, and then just be like, hi, I'm Jagati, or whatever, and then just have a nice chat. Or something. I don't know how that would be done. Because I kind of, like, I want her to know that I'm the one behind it.
So, what do you tell to Zoe?
I tell her that Avra's trying to study the properties of black orchids, and she needs some help from like deciphering some documents about them and wants to know about just their properties in general.
Okay.
But I think I'm not going to be completely reckless, and I think I tell Zoe, like, just leave out the things that are going to be incriminating to me. Like, help her out, but don't throw me under the bus.
Yeah. Okay. But you do want her to know that it's you that's sending Zoe to help you.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get credit for being nice. I'm trying to do that.
Yeah, so Zoe kind of looks at you and she says, I need to know what this is about, Ophelia, specifically before I put myself in the middle of it. What exactly does she need help with?
Understanding what's going on with the king.
She frowns. Ophelia, I don't want to implicate myself either. If the king has been poisoned, then I would naturally be the first person to look for.
I think I just look at her with this kind of like, come on, and I just say, like, Zoe, you know that I have your back. Nothing is going to happen to you.
Roll that falsehood. Sounds like a good plan.
Oh.
Yeah, so Ophelia, you're like trying to give her a false sense of comfort in this whole situation.
Well, I don't think I would let anything bad happen to her. It was my mom, basically.
I think this is a falsehood. Because I don't think you know that either way, even if you want it to be true.
That's fair. Okay. Do I have any modifiers?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Except for you can add astrology after the fact if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, let me find Zoe. I'll give you a bonus die because you have your good relationship with her.
Yay.
So you can add 1 to that modifier at the very beginning, at least.
Yeah.
Your ob's 4.
Okay. My luck has not been good. Dang it.
All right, we'll roll that astrology die.
What's the remaining ob?
2.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Oh, that's a 1. Oh no. Roll it again. Just click on the die of fate, which is right above your skills. There's a little button that says die of fate. Just click on that.
Is it 2 again for the ob?
It is still 2, yeah.
My God.
So that doesn't add anything to your roll, but it at the very least doesn't take away successes, which is what that would have done if you had gotten any. If you had not gotten a success, it would have taken away successes. Okay, so you could still spend a fate point.
Okay.
To do the same thing again, right? You would put in the 1 dice and two remaining ob.
Is that worth it?
I don't know. How many fate points do you have right now?
6.
You have 6. I would just spend it, yeah. It's a 1 in 12 chance, but you have plenty.
Okay, so I just click the fate boy.
Yep.
And do 2.
Yep. And 1 die.
Oh my god.
So the thing is, though, you have 1 last failsafe, and that is your call-on trait, Forked Tongue.
Okay, guess we do that.
So that means you can reroll 1, 2, 3, 4 dice.
Do I do that with the fate thing?
Go ahead and do that with the fate thing. Yep, 4 dice and still 2 ob remaining. There you go, just barely, like skin of your teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
What are my bad rolls? I usually have pretty good ones.
I know you've been failing a lot this time. Okay, cool. So let's see. You don't need routines on falsehood, but you did spend a fate, so there you go. Okay. So she nods to herself kind of slowly, and she says, All right, Ophelia, I'm trusting you in this.
That makes me feel bad.
I will approach Avra and try to help her with this. Any particular message you want me to send to her besides Ophelia is helping?
Just let her know that she can notify Skion if she needs anything. And you can too, for that matter.
She kind of smirks and she says, all right. I'll see you later, Ophelia. And she kind of waddles off. So, Avra, frame this for me. Where would Zoe find you to give you this message?
I don't know. I mean, easy answer is always just in the aviary.
Yeah. Would the guards, like, let her in?
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine there's plants in the aviary, so probably she goes in there regularly to tend to them.
Go. That makes sense. Yeah.
So wouldn't it be weird that she's there?
Sure. Yeah. So she comes in and maybe it's literally just she's already there, right? And you're like you come in to like do practice and stuff, and she's tending something in the garden, right? Like in this one spot of the aviary, and she looks up and she says, "Avra, dear." And like at first you're like, I don't know who this is, and you're like, oh yeah, the royal gardener. Okay. How do you respond to her?
She just looks over and is like, hello.
How are you, dear?
I'm fine.
And she's not doing the proper etiquette here. She's like treating you like she's your mom. Yeah. Kind of in the situation. Right? She uses like the familial term of endearment. Whatever that is. Hatchling. And she says, I have a message for you. And the gaze she kind of gives you kind of unsettles you a bit. Like, it's not like someone asked me to tell you this. It's like, I have a message for you. Like,
message from whom?
Your sister. And she looks back down and keeps like tending this plant, and she says, like, while she just keeps talking while she's like doing this, while you're just standing there like, and she says, she found out that you were having a little bit of trouble with a project of yours, and she sent me to help you.
I feel like Avra would get mad. Because at this point, she's like trying to learn more about her sister and how her sister's possibly involved in her father going mad.
Yeah.
And she's like, this bird is still watching me and my sister knows everything I'm doing. And I don't know if I can trust her at this point.
Yeah.
But like, she's also still really curious because she might be able to learn more about her sister.
Yeah.
Through this woman. So I feel like she tries to hide her anger, but inside she's like seething. I don't know what she'd say. She'd probably just like stand there and wait for Zoe
more of an explanation.
Talking. Yeah.
And yeah, when you don't answer, she just says, did you know that I am Jigadi? Has it ever crossed your mind? And like, she has the skin tone for it. Like, you just didn't think about it. And she says, I had a passing comment. Your friend, Celadon, Lord Caledon has been asking around about a Jigadi scholar of one sort or another. I don't think he really thought to look at me for one reason or another. But here I am. Exactly what you need. A Jigadi botanist who knows exactly how the black orchids work. And she looks up at you again and says, use me. Ophelia sends her best regards.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if Avra would view this as more of an asset or
a liability.
Yeah. I think she probably tries to set up a meeting with Zoe, with Caledon there. So she'd basically be like, can you talk with my friend and I? He's more scholarly than I am.
And she slowly shakes her head and she says, no, I don't think that would be wise for either of us. You have a few questions, I can answer them, and I will drift into the night like I was never here. Basically, she's telling you, like, it's now or never. Like, I'm not giving you the information if you just don't just ask now. Like, I don't want Caledon to be involved in this. So now we come to a crossroads. Does Avra care more about avoiding Ophelia and being safe, or should she care more about getting the information she wants?
I think she just asked one question, and she asks, is Ophelia poisoning my father?
And Zoe answers honestly, I don't know, child. I don't think so, but you can never tell with that one. If she is, I assure you, she's probably doing it for very, very good reasons. How do you think your father is being poisoned?
With this orchid, somehow, combined with the snake's venom.
Ah. And then I'll have her make a roll. Good thing she has a bunch of life paths. All right. She's going to fork in almanac, farming, flower-wise, plant-wise. And I think aura reading. Because there's a magical thing going on here. And you realize that she's actually, like, cultivating some black orchids right now. Like, this is what she's doing. She's, like, planting some in your aviary. And you realize Zoe's blind, right? You don't actually, she's not looking at anything when she looks in your direction, but she's never looking directly at you. But we see, I think, as an audience's perspective, we see her look at the flowers in a way that's different than the way she doesn't look at anything else. Because she has a magical second sight that you guys didn't know about. You still don't know about, but, you know. Okay, she's going to roll herbalism with a bunch of dice. And let's see what she needs to get to know the right things. So the intent here would be what exactly? What do you want her to know? Specifically.
I mean, I guess if that's what's happening to my father,
Like if there's any like if the symptoms are 100% perfect match,
right?
And it's totally plausible that this could happen, and so on and so forth. Okay, right. Sounds good.
Because at least then we've narrowed it down to this is something that's being done to him, and there's a specific means.
All right, I think she might have a Colin trait. You got a 4. What does Down to Earth do?
I've had that one before.
I know, yeah.
I don't think I ever really used it for anything.
I don't think you did. Ah, perfect. Yes, you get to pick the skill here, and she would have picked herbalism. So she's gonna re-roll all of her failed dice, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I swear, she still fails this. So she needs 2 ob, and she's rolling 7 dice. There you go. Perfect. Cool. So I think she looks at the flower and then looks back at you, and I think she says, "No, that's not it."
I think she breathes a sigh of relief, because then she's like, oh, then maybe it's not Ophelia.
Yeah. And she kind of shakes her head and she says, the Jagati scholar who, the Jagati herbalist who came up with that theory, it wouldn't work. It's foolish, actually. If you do end up seeing the scholar that Celadon met, tell him that his treatise is worthless. And tell him that an old woman proved him wrong. He won't believe me, of course, but it's true. No, this is something else, Avra. The black orchid may be involved, but not in the way that you think. Not in the way any of you think. And then she seems to look at you. And I'm gonna have her make a roll here. I'm curious what she could discover doing an aura reading test on you. To learn some things. Or reading obstacles. All right. Or reading 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, okay, 6 out of 8. She's going to spend a fate. And hope this works. No, dang. Okay, so she seems to look at you, right, and try to understand something about you. You're not sure what exactly she's doing, but it seemed like she's blind, but it seems like she's gazing into your like soul or something, right? It's very intense. And then she kind of frowns and she says, "The future is clouded around you, Avra. Something very important is happening here, but I am not able to decipher what. Your past is not a mystery to me, but your future worries me. Tread carefully, child. And then she just goes back to tending to the black orchid. Cool. So let's. So Ever, you know this is not natural. Whatever is happening, I think basically from that and then whatever else Celadon and this scholar have been doing, I think you've crossed natural causes off the list, right? This is something spiritual, magical, or something like that. And let's go pop over to Alpheus. Where would you go next? What would be your next move here?
I literally have no idea.
Yeah, let's take a look at your beliefs and stuff.
Also, I have to get off soon because I have to go move my truck and help someone move a trailer.
Got it. Okay. I mean, yeah, we're wrapping up pretty soon here anyway.
But I literally don't know where I would go.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Oh, I know. Okay, so this is what happens. The captain of the guard calls on you and says, like,
okay.
Hey, we need to talk. Do you go to him?
So I'm there with him?
I'm asking, do you like go to him to meet him? He like calls you to the barracks, basically, to the...
Yeah, I show up. I'll go. I think because in my mind, he trusted me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get there, and he's still at his like desk, right? And he says, "Sit down, Alpheus."
Okay, then I do.
And he stands up. And he's a pretty tall dude, so he kind of towers over you a bit, and he says, "Alpheus, you aren't going to leave this room until you tell me what's actually going on here."
What are you talking about? I've told you everything I know.
You've told me something suspiciously convenient that turned out to be exactly true to the finest detail.
What did you find?
We found a poisoned dagger under his mattress.
I told you he was plotting something.
Yes, Cyrillus was plotting something. And he kind of gazes at you intently and he says, Cyrillus mentioned a name when I confronted him. Titan. Do you recognize that? And I want you to make an inconspicuous test to not react to that.
Okay, what is that? What's the roll?
I don't think you have the skill.
I doubt it.
You do not. So yeah, just go ahead and add it to your being learned. It's based on will.
Okay. My roll 20's like tweaked.
Oh, here I can get it, do it for you. What was it? Inconspicuous. Because this is basically, I mean, I just feel like Alpheus is probably not the best at hiding his emotions.
No. Okay, I can do it now. Add. Oh, you did.
I just added it, but you can go ahead and roll it. So it's based on will, so you're not super bad at will, but it's going to be against his observation, which he doesn't have as a skill himself either. So it'll be as difficult as if you had the skill, right? So it should be a pretty kind of even match here. But I'll go ahead and roll his first. Wow, okay. So your obstacle is, put a 0.5 as the obstacle so that it doubles to 1 like it should.
Additional ob? 0?
No, yeah, 0. There you go. Yep, so you hide your expression. Go ahead and mark a bubble on that inconspicuous there. Next to the aptitude on the right. So you managed to hide your face, your expression well enough to not tip him off so you know that name.
Okay.
So he's glaring, he's like waiting for you to reveal something, and then he frowns and he says, "Do you know the name, Alpheus?"
So if I lie, do I have to roll falsehood?
Yeah, if you're gonna lie here, you're rolling falsehood. But
yes, I've heard the name.
What's the significance to you?
An old friend of mine mentioned him once.
He's trying to dance around it. Yeah.
That's true.
He frowns again. He says, Cyrillus escaped, Alpheus.
No, he didn't. He did?
Yes.
How could you let him escape?
He surprised me. I didn't expect... I always thought Cyrillus was incredibly loyal to the king. I see that I was wrong, but it gave him the opportunity to, well, pull one over on me and run out the door. In a very little fashion. I sent men after him, of course. They're scouring the city. I'm sure it will only be a matter of time, but for now, he's gone. So I need to know what is going on here.
So I kind of shake my head at him, and I'm like...
Anything you can tell me will be incredibly useful.
I want to tell him... So I tell him, look, man... I gave you everything I knew. I haven't seen Cyrillus either. And... you should not have let him escape. You guys messed up.
I love Alpheus so much. You done
He's
messed
basically
up
me. He's basically me.
Yeah. I'm seeing the Andrew Garfield now too.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see him saying that.
So he says, I feel like you still have to make a falsehood there. Right? It's still, I know, but it's still you trying to like, because you're not trying
it's
to.
It's one of those Abraham lies.
Yeah.
I told you she was my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
My sister.
What am I trying to say? You're not trying to persuade him of anything, right? You're not saying it's in your best interest to do this. You're just trying to smooth over the conversation by dancing around the topic and being deceptive.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah. I think you're rolling falsehood. Obs 4. Which unless
What's my falsehood? Do I even have it?
No, it's on. It's.
Oh, then isn't it better for me to try to persuade him?
Yes, but you've already. I mean, unless you radically change what you said.
I wouldn't change it. No.
Yeah. So, just go ahead and do it.
Dude,
I mean,
if he's gonna find me out,
you're gonna fail here. Yeah. Unless you get incredibly lucky, get a bunch of 6s, and spend a fate.
Okay, so help and advantages none.
None. Yep.
Artha none.
Yep.
Base ob 4.
Yep. Wait, why did it? Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
8.
Yeah, because it
oh, because I don't know this.
Exactly. Mark a difficult on your will.
On will?
Yep. Okay. Because if it's not a routine for a being learned, you don't mark a bubble. You just mark it on the stat you based it on. Okay. So you're getting better at will though.
So falsehood's part of will.
Exactly. And so what will happen if you get one challenging test at this point, then your will advance, which means when you roll falsehood, you'll be rolling 5 dice instead of 4. And you'll only need 5 tests on falsehood to advance it.
And will it still say being learned?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Until you get the right amount of tests. That 6 next to aptitude, that's how many tests you need, how many routine tests you need on the skill to advance to like get it. But if you advance your will, that will go to a 5 instead of a 6. So it'll be easier to learn it. But yeah, so it's all going to the same place more or less. But so yeah, he just shakes his head and he says, "I was really hoping we wouldn't have to do this." And 2 guards come in from behind the door behind you and grab you by the shoulders. What do you do? How are you like responding as they do this?
I think I want to be like indignant and say, "What do you think? What do you think you're doing? I'm a town representative." How dare you accuse me of this?
I'm not accusing you of anything, Alpheus.
Then why am I under arrest?
And then he leans in really close as they like are pinning you down to the chair, right? And he says, "You're not under arrest unless you don't." You're not under arrest unless you don't tell me what I want to know. This is your last
I don't know
chance.
what you want to know. I don't have that. I don't have that information, sir. What is this? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think I can tell you? What can I say?
The identity of Titan.
To remedy this.
Who is Titan, Alpheus? What is your connection to him? And so technically, stepping out as players, right? You can technically still try to finagle this conversation to not end up with you having to reveal Titan. You could do it through persuasion. I mean, you had a good tack there. You could say, like, listen, I'm a town representative. You don't want to mess with this political beast. Like, the politics in this town are messed up right now. You don't want to get involved in them.
Yeah.
That could be a persuasion test, right?
Yeah, I'll go that route.
Okay. Do you say it pretty much like that?
That's exactly what I say.
Okay, cool. So persuasion.
What does he say? He's like, then I'm.
You're gonna make the roll, and then we'll see what. Yeah.
Okay. No forks.
I think you can fork
town-wise. No.
I think you can fork in etiquette and rule of law. I think both of those make sense here, right? If your argument is you can't do this because it's not proper and it's not legal, like.
Yeah.
You could say, like, you don't have evidence. I'm a representative of the government. You can't just interrogate me without evidence. Like, you can't. This isn't legal. So two. I think 2 modifiers.
And base ob.
Base ob 4. Or sorry, 5.
Oh,
that's right.
4.
You got 5 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think that might have increased the difficulty for you though. As in, like, the difficulty.
I can do it again.
Yeah, go ahead and just roll it again with an ob 5. I just want to see what it would turn out to be. I don't think it's a routine. I think it's.
Watch, now I'm not gonna pass it.
No, that's right. You'll still succeed no matter
base
what.
ob 5.
Yeah, I just want to see what it actually would be. No, it's still a routine. Okay, you succeed though. You don't have to roll.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. So you don't get any tests for this. It's too easy for you. But you do manage to pull it off. Like, you say this, and then he seems to, like, still, like, looking at you, like, just hard look on his face, and he's, like, thinking whether or not he's gonna, like, push on this at all. And then he looks at the 2 guards, and they release you, and he says, "Listen, I don't want to be difficult about this, but I have a duty. I am supposed to protect the king. That is my job. That was Cyrilus's job before he betrayed everyone. Now, I want to know if I'm condemning an innocent man. I want to know if Cyrillus is actually behind this, or if you and Titan cooked up some sort of plot to get him framed. And if you have any human decency left, you'll give me the answer to those questions." And this is an idle threat. He's going to let you walk out of here if you don't say anything.
Well, I'm going to tell him, well, you shouldn't have hired Cyrillus then.
Yeah, so you need to push this back on him. You're like, listen.
How do we know you're not the one plotting something? Also, I have to go. My phone's ringing.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a good place to leave it off. So we just see Alpheus walk out of the room like, ha, you can't touch this.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Sweet. Hey, I got to go. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Let me know what's up with the Artha stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and just give it to you, and we'll, based on what you got.
All right.
So.
Adios, guys.
Cool. Adios.
Yeah.
Oh, no one's in the right places anymore. No. There you go. Boom. Okay. Let's do Artha and get out of here. So we'll start with Alpheus. All right. He had, my people are my highest priority. I will oppose anyone who disgraces us. That didn't really come up specifically. The working class needs to be guaranteed protection from the outside militaries. I will use my status as a politician to see this happens, not directly. But the belief 3, the king only cares about himself and his top advisors. I will see that justice is done for what happened to my family. He's working on keeping his cover not blown so he can fulfill that. So we can get a fate there. I'm going to give him a fate for strong-willed, too. Like, he did several things this session that just created an interesting situation because his character is just like, well, I could be a normal human being and walk away at this point, but nope, we're going to go for it. So he's going to get 2 fate. Which he still has 11 fate, so, you know. He still is not, I don't think he's gotten a single persona, though, the entire game. He hasn't ever accomplished a goal. Seerless. Our good old enchanting demon boy.
Here I am. Okay.
Well, it sounds like you did what it takes to stay alive for now.
Yeah.
You discovered her Ophelia's true intentions.
I did. So I guess that belief's got to change.
And you didn't work on sprinting.
Mm-mm.
So a fate and a persona from that. You definitely get, if I go to an establishment, I will order a drink. Like, for sure. And or drunk, right? Either of those are the situation here. That either of those gives you 1 fate point. And then I'm going to give you... what is it? A fate point for competitive too, right? Your cultural trait. You being a Sinian and being a competitive Sinian was one of the reasons why you were like, you know what, Ophelia, you're lying to my face. I'm still going to do a drinking contest with you. So I think that is 3 fate points and 1 persona point.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Ophelia.
Well, I feel like...
I think you worked on the first one at least.
Yeah, I worked on the first one. Did I work on the third one as well? I did a lot of Seerless stuff. I don't know if...
Yes, you worked toward understanding how you can help me, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really play with my other 2.
I think, I mean, the second one is vague enough that Seerless kind of counts in this now. So I think you were working on training him too, right? Like, so I think you can get fate points for all 3 of those.
Yay.
I just remember you have another belief.
Oh, yeah.
So you feel free to write that in if you think of something else. Technically, I think that one is this, right? That's in there right now.
Oh.
The followers one, but you have another slot that you can fill up.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah. So 3. Let's see. I feel like you got fate point for something else. I feel like I want to give you a fate point for cruel because it was the whole, messing with him in the first place that led to the interesting situation of him totally finding out what you were doing and still going along. It just made the situation a lot more interesting than you fooling dumb Seerless, right?
Yeah.
So 4 fate points, I think.
Cool.
And Avra. Didn't work on getting Keladin to assume the throne.
No.
But you were working on the other 2 beliefs.
Yeah.
I just love your instinct 3. you still have not ever played to it.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like I should change that because
I think you should. It doesn't seem like you care enough.
I feel like it's not her at this point.
Yeah. You're too focused on your own agenda to actually be just altruistic randomly. Because what's his face? Alpheus has come to you twice now with requests, and you basically just kind of shunned him both times.
Alpheus is like urgently pointing to her character sheet, like, look at this instinct!
Look at this instinct! And you're like, nah. Yeah, so I think 2 fate points for you then. I don't think any of the other stuff really came up. But you're getting really close to figuring out more about your father. I know what's going on with him, and I'm excited for you to kind of dig into the reality of it more. But it was fun to have that whole little sequence of you thinking that, oh my gosh, it was Ophelia. Ophelia's poisoning my dad. Oh my gosh. Either way, it would have been interesting if she had failed that herbalism roll or succeeded, because if she had failed, then it would have been like more red herring, figure out, oh my gosh, it is Ophelia. Like, I would have just said, like, her said, yes, that's what did it, right? Like, this is the path you need to take, which would have left you directly to Ophelia. Yeah. And the whole thing would have happened there. But now you can look into the actual thing that's happening, and that's a whole nother plot thread, which is interesting. So, okay, cool. Let's do the other, like, Artha and Steel and stuff things that go on. Let's see here. Do we have a humor fate point for an in-character game stopper? I feel like there were several moments that were pretty funny.
I know Cyrill's stuff made me laugh a lot, and then just the past scene made me laugh as well.
Say that again. What did you say, Thus?
Just this last scene.
Oh, with Alpheus, yeah.
Yeah. And just him being like, the heck are you doing?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Nominating Cyrillus and Alpheus can be nominated for humor. They're the comic relief of the game, honestly. Yeah. Right? Like, there's intense stuff happening with them, but they're pretty funny characters as opposed to Ophelia and Avra, who are both pretty serious characters. And honestly, that was the exact vibe I was hoping for with this game. Like, when we came up with this idea originally, right? And it was just you two, Maria and Carly, right? It was going to be like intense sister relationship, political drama stuff. And then I was like, well, we should do this as an actual show. And then I thought of, okay, Chad and Seth. And I was like, that's going to make it fun, right? Like, it would have been intense and dramatic before, but now it's going to be fun. Yes. So yeah, Alpheus will get another fate point as well, and then you can mark one Cyrillus if you didn't already. For humor, anyone have right skill, right time for having a skill to make this? Oh, Cyrillus, obviously Cyrillus, drinking. That whole thing was super fun and interesting. So take another fate point for that. Let's see, for really good or distinctive role playing embodiment. Anything in particular jump out, like dramatic scenes? Because, like, Cyrillus's was cool, but I don't know if it was really dramatic. It was honestly a little humorous. So, yeah, I don't think anyone had, like, a particularly dramatic scene this time. Mold breaker for going beyond the bounds of character, conflicting decisions. I feel like there wasn't really a huge decision point for any of the characters in, like, a look at my beliefs and instincts and they all conflict sort of a way. It seemed like the decisions they make were still pretty on par with who their character is and what they want. Even Cyrillus, right? Like, he looked at his beliefs and he was like, well, I want to survive, and I also don't really know what to do with myself right now. This demon can offer me both. Also, I think I can handle it because drunk. Let's do it. So, but yeah, I think that's probably it for that stuff. Steel tests. I think you might have actually gotten a steel test this time, Cyrillus. You witnessed some really horrible crap. You didn't witness throat possession, but
No.
What a fun time.
I know, super fun. All right, what do we got here? See, news of a relative dying, weird, low-grade supernatural phenomena. Avra, take a obstacle 1 steel test for that. The whole aura reading thing with Zoe, that kind of unsettled you a little bit. So let's see, what would that be for you? What do you have for steel? A 2. Yeah, so up to you. It can be a routine. Actually, yeah, you just need routines. You already have a challenging. So yeah, mark a routine for steel. Wow, you have a 2 steel. That's awful. You're so easy to
remember.
Oh, right. All right, witnessing violence. I don't think any violence happened this time. Heated sports competition. If Cyrillus or Ophelia needed an Ob2 steel test, they would have gotten it for that. But let's see.
A little violence this time. It means it's due next time.
Yeah. I'm excited for Cyrillus does violence for Ophelia time. Like, but though Cyrillus has some like more intellectual pursuits to go after now too. So. But eventually, everything with the Cyrillus comes back to he can kill things. He's gonna try some enchanting. He's gonna try some enchanting, fail miserably, and Ophelia's gonna be, you know what? Just kill some things for me, okay? Let's see. I think, yeah, witnessing or being party to spirit activity. That sounds like what happened there. So Ophelia and Cyrillus. You can go ahead and mark a Ob5 steel test, which for you guys, you both have a 6, right? Yeah, which for you guys is a difficult. So both mark out a difficult steel test for the weird spirit vision thing that happened there.
Where is that? Sorry, I'm still...
It's in attributes, in stats and skills. On the left, steel.
Oh, there. Okay. So
yes,
which one?
A difficult. Because you have a 6 in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Perfect. Awesome. And then last but certainly not least, we have corruption.
Uh-oh. That actually wasn't too bad this time.
Yeah. Cyrillus doesn't have to mark any of these because he just got it. But Ophelia, you lied. So that's an Ob1 for you.
Forgot that that's even corrupt.
I'm just so used to it by now. So mark a routine for faith and oh no, you have a wait. How does this work? Corruption. Wait. Does that still work for a routine? Wait. I need to look at this. Sorry, give me a second. For exponent 5 or higher, routine tests equal to the exponent count as one category of advancement field. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so routines still count for some reason for even 5 and beyond. So yeah, mark a routine.
Okay.
On corruption. And then it'd be an Ob3 corruption because you're affecting another person with weird spirit magic stuff. So for you, that is difficult, I believe. Let me double check that, though. No, sorry, it's a routine again.
So I marked 2 routines?
Yeah, 2 routines.
Yay, we're on the up and up. I get a new thing.
I know. What's so funny is, like, what does she do this time? Lie to someone to try to get him to take drugs. And get the guy to take drugs to make a bargain with a demon. Both of those counted as routine tests for Ophelia's corruption.
At this point, something difficult is probably going to be like some kind of creepy sacrifice.
Well, no, okay, so literally, at this point, a difficult test for you is going to be mutilating an animal, human,
an animal.
Casting a spell with harmful intent, summoning a lesser demon for any purpose, commanding a demon to perform a social service, owning a marked item, murder by any means, summoning a demon for any purpose, commanding a demon to perform a physical service that leads to the injury of a person, being marked by a demon, torture, Summoning a greater demon for any purpose, commanding a demon to perform a physical service that leads to the death of a person, paying a physical price for a service, necrophilia, commanding...
Oh my.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's. We'll have a chat.
I wonder if the goddess of lust is dead. Oh boy.
Good.
Commanding a spirit service from a demon, owning many marked items, necrophagia, selling the soul of another to an unworldly power.
It's necrophagia.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to know.
Do we want to know?
We're going to look it up. Necrophagia is a metal band. Oh, it's eating carrion.
Oh.
So it's like eating dead bodies.
No.
It's like cannibalism, but probably more like eating zombies sort of a thing, or like dead rotting flesh. Being possessed by a being with spirit nature, or selling your own soul to an otherworldly power. All of those will give you difficult or challenging tests.
Yay.
So, yeah, there you go. That was a really fun episode of Death Unto Madness. I'm going to go ahead and send that chapter your way, Seth, rather, so you can look at enchanting. And if you have any questions on it, let me know. Again, you don't feel like you have to like understand everything that's going on there, but just taking a look at it will give you some ideas on what sort of stuff you can do. And so if you have any ideas as Cyrillus as like what kind of stuff you'd want to enchant, we can figure that out. And then Maria had mentioned that she wanted to, if you and I could stay behind with her to kind of talk about the secret stuff, and we'll do that. So Carly, you're kicked out.
Okay.
But okay, that's Death Unto Madness. Great session, guys. Adios.